It's without further ado I present to you the official rundown of the New Killings manga. Be advised that this will be a chill, relaxing read-through, and we'll go through the whole story of New Killings and some spoilers ahead for those who don't know about my manga books.
If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, as it will help me know you guys enjoy the content I do.
Without further ado, I present to you New Killings. We start off in the year of 2013, where our main character Jericho Renji comes back from summer vacation. He talks about how Atlas City is so corrupted ever since the increase of delinquents have risen up. As he is explaining about how Atlas's future close friend, Zenith Mendez, is also talking about the city and its corruption in the manga. You can see a manga panel where both their faces together both say at the same time that they will end this madness and put a stop to the delinquent riots. Jericho in class while Zenith is in the restroom suddenly gets encounter with another boy. It's Sak, a member of the Hyenas, a delinquent gang, who watches over the schools of 188 and 110, a terrible gang who rules over all the kids in each school. He says that he had come to Zenith because out of all the kids in the school, Zenith is a threat to the Hyenas due to him disrespecting and not following the gang's rules. As punishment, Zach beat Zenith with a pipe to the point he was bleeding from his eye. That's until a certain someone made an appearance. It was Jericho holding Apple. He comes in the bathroom in help of saving Zenith and stating that he will do what it takes to make everything right and stopping the delinquent riots of Atlas. He also stated that he will save those corrupted, meaning that he will even change delinquents' minds as well. He strikes a blow at Zack, knocking him out cold, and helps Zenith up. At this point, Zenith and Jericho start to know more about each other and even work together because of how similar they are even when it came to stopping delinquent riots. It was right at this moment they plan to make a new gang, a gang that targets others and fighting to bring back peace to Atlas. Without them knowing, Lorena from another class overheard and took a liking to Jericho due to knowing him from 110 as kids. Meanwhile, Harashima Tyler, the leader of the Hyenas, was reported of Zack's defeat by Jericho and grew rage and hatred for always being disrespected and taken like a joke. As a result, he sends his side man Looney to find Jericho and kill him where he stands. Of course, we know Looney had gotten karma, and instead of being able to stop Jericho, he got one-shotted by the boy, and even was taken into Jericho's new gang plus an extra young boy who Zenith knew personally. And that boy was Arata Suzuki, a best friend and brother to Lorena. His reason for joining Jericho's new formed gang was because he enjoys getting into trouble and messing with those he views as bad. And thanks to Sarada, he brought in his close friends. Two very close friends like brothers Lev and Dan, who had delinquent history and were against the system ever since the first day. They have come to give a helping hand to Jericho in stopping the system, and thus began the beginning of a family of friends, the Wolves, a delinquent gang who targets and stops those others who bring harm and wrong. In Section 2 begins the road to the battle between Hyenas and Wolves as Harashima plots his attack on the Wolves and the school of 188. The Wolves plot their plan against the Hyenas as well, and thanks to the help of Looney, he helps snitch when the attack is supposed to happen. And that's after Christmas Day, a last-minute prom night will go down in 188. In the end of the chapter, Zenith explains his hate towards the Hyenas, and it's because he has had history with them. In his younghood in 110, where the Hyenas were very abusive in their younger prime, Harashima Tyler at that time had attacked and hurt his younger sister. It's also how he got the flame scar. Harashima had burned him with a lighter in front of his sister. Now that we are arriving close to the end, it's best to say that during the events of New Killings in mid-spaces not mention Lorena and Jericho's relationship was called the Dark Tragedy, because big twist during their time together, a certain deal was made in regards to their love for each other. It would seem that during the events of their attacks on short gangs, Lorena was taken by a delinquent who had connections with her sister. Her sister Rose is actually a delinquent gang leader of the Gorgons of the South Side. The deal was if Lorena separated from Jericho, then the Gorgons will not kill or harm Jericho and the Wolves. As a result, Lorena and Jericho have been distant, and it's because of her. She purposely distanced herself from Jericho to protect him, and as a result it left Jericho in too much question, and even though he is a smart young boy, delinquent history and what they Our truly is really a big damage to him mentally. And it's because of all this emotional trauma she inflicted on him without meaning, is what had created a short curse inside of him. And because of the other things Jericho had been through in the past with delinquents, he is getting weaker as time goes. Zenith was the only one who predicted and knew of Lorena's change, and had told Jericho to swear that no matter what happens, that Jericho will not be driven to the dark side. Jericho promised, but of course it's a promise scary to keep. It jumped quick to the end. To make it short, it was Christmas prom and the hyenas had finally made their attack on the school. The messed up thing is due to Lorena's betrayals. The wolves were not enough for what had suddenly come. Tyler had brought the whole hyenas in for the strike, but to a sudden change of plans, Tyler stated that he would rather have a one-on-one with Jericho if he shows. If not, then the school will be completely in ruin. Of course Jericho had shown up, but he was not himself. As Zenith sees Jericho's acts was not normal. Jericho's eyes glowed a strange yellow, and his pupils were sharp like that of an animal. He even sounded harsh with his words, like telling Tyler that his ass will be in the ground and dead. This made Tyler angry and said that he will not allow any more disrespect and that even the higher rank leaders are watching from the rooftop of the building. Turns out they are watching because they had made a sudden plan. If the wolves win, Jericho will be in charge of the lower side of Atlas, and everyone will be under his protection. Therefore Tyler is not willing to let it slide, and he wants to win to not fail his brother. The battle starts, but it ends up with Tyler trying to choke Jericho with a chain. He strangled him to the point he couldn't breathe. The others watch in panic. But suddenly something snapped in Jericho, where he suddenly went for the chain and biting it down with his teeth. He then brought the chain down and punched Tyler hard in the head, while then spin kick striking him down, knocking him out cold on the floor. Zack and the hyenas screamed in panic seeing their boss go down. It was at this moment Jericho looked up and threatened the three high leaders, stating that he will be in charge of watching over the lower side, and if anything comes to threaten his side will die by his hands. Kihara, the undead boy, asked Fang, the other high leader, what he thinks. And at that moment Fang took a moment to think and told Jericho that if that's what he wants, so be it. But then he warns Jericho that due to his change in the system, it will come with a price and that he better be ready for when the time comes. Jericho scoffed it off, and at the end the school was left untouched by any other gangs from the lower side. In the end the wolves finally made their victory thanks to Jericho. However, Jericho suddenly goes without warning, or say due to the things he had been through in the battle of the hyenas. The first arc ends with the end scene of Jericho at the piers after middle school graduation and was visited by a girl who he had known in 110. It was Eva, a girl he had feelings for. We can see that it was thanks to Zenith, who knew why he was missing and gone for so long, that he had brought Eva to him to help him out. He cries deeply from remembering and his eyes turn back to normal. I hope you guys enjoyed the first arc walkthrough. Apologies if things were cut short or fast, as it was due to having too much to show due to this manga's second arc in the works. Don't worry, be sure to stay because I will be making more videos with explanations for certain characters, events, and things. With that being said, I hope you guys have a good Halloween and are excited to see the second arc new premiere on Halloween night. Peace out, wolves.